here, but she don't want to come. She has so much on her hand at the very moment. That is why you're standing for her. Thank you very much. God bless us all.
Thank you very much. Another round of applause. So without much ado, we will be going into the technical sessions. Right? And it's with great pleasure, very, very great pleasure, that I want to invite Professor Madu Buisi Ofe, the Vice Chancellor Michael Okpara University of Agriculture, Abia State, for the lead paper on recovery and rebranding inbound tourism for economic growth and development. I should not do all the protocol. The protocol is very important. Thank you very much. Good day, everybody. My name is Dr. Mrs. Ogechi Lesson and I'm representing Professor Madu Buisi Ofe, the Vice Chancellor Michael Okpara University of Agriculture. You are all welcome to this conference. I'm here to present a paper titled Recovering and Rebranding Inbound Tourism for Economic Growth and Development. Invited lead paper presented at the second edition of the National Conference for Domestic and Ecotourism / Exhibition in tourism entails people moving out from their usual place of residence to the tourism destination for leisure, conferences and other activities that are not associated with salary earning. And the expected tourist is at least 24 hours and not more than 12 consecutive months. Tourism is a significant driver for economic and social development. It stimulates economic growth and development. Exports, employment, investment, and exports. Sustainable Development Goals number 8, 12, and 14 highlighted the central role of tourism in job. Tourism covers several sectors and is a cross-cutting issue. The development of tourism has an impact on many sustainable development goals. For example, poverty, decent work, gender, infrastructural development. In this particular figure there, are you not projecting?
Look at it.
Okay. In that particular figure there, if you look at the first figure, as in the first image, that's the tourists, the people traveling. And you know that people traveling, like tourism, unlike any other kind of business or any other thing that generates income for a country, you will always go there. Maybe if you're coming to buy petrol in Nigeria, you give us money and you go home with petrol, isn't it?
effect for tourism. You come in with your billions of naira or dollars or pounds. Then as you're going out, you are not going out with anything tangible, as in anything eyes can see. You are going out with what? Tourism experience. And that's why those countries that develop tourism very well, they are making so much money because it doesn't finish. It doesn't finish. So the first figure there are the travelers. And what's the role? How is there, as in the role, what they do play, as in plays in any economy. You can see the travelers, then the next one. Tourism facilities that they enjoy. Various tourism facilities, they have the attraction and other support services that a tourist, because just like the definition is someone leaving his usual place of residence for a tourism destination, and the person, for you to term the trip tourism, means that the person must be there for at least 24 hours. So the person needs what? Shelter over the person's head. The person also needs what? Food to eat. The person needs a place to lay his or her head. These are the components of tourism. And there are also intermediaries, the people that really help to ensure that tourism destinations in various places are being informed or are being marketed to people who really want to travel. Then the next one now are those monies that are realized from tourism, from the tourists. They are used to do what? To pay people who work in the various sectors that provides the tourism services. That one has to do with the what? With employment. The first layer there, the tourist. The second one is transportation. Then the third one is what? The various tourism facilities. Then the fourth role there is has to do with employment. Tourism creates employment. And the last role there has to do with the multiplier effect. The multiplier effect of tourism. Those people that work in the various, you know that tourism is the highest employer of labor. And when you're talking about labor, we are talking about both skilled and unskilled laborers. So the various monies that are paid in form of salaries and wages to those people that work in the various tourism sector are being used to do what? To pay their house rents, solve their individual problems. That has to do with the multiplier effect of tourism. Nigeria is blessed with abundant tourism resources, ranging from waterfalls, cultural festivals, and heritage, festivals and heritage, then religious festivals, beaches, lakes, sporting events, and others, but has not been able to compete favorably with other destinations in Africa, not to talk about the world. Like, we are really blessed. We are really blessed with a lot of potential tourism attractions, but little has been done to it, to develop it. And Nigeria cannot really boast of competing with other countries. We cannot even boast of competing with African countries, not to talk about the world. Because let me use Britain for instance. If you go to London, if you see the number of people that walks along the Buckingham Palace just to see the building, not to see the Queen or to see the King, not to be the King, and they are making so much money. And some of them will see you and ask you, where are you from? You're an African, definitely yes. Where are you from? Nigeria. If you say you're Nigeria, at times the person will walk back a little, then before coming back again to check if my Isioka the Panexia. So destination marketing organizations were set up and expected to develop comprehensive tourism marketing programs for both national and state. Then package tourist attraction sites, market them for both domestic and foreign consumption. Issues and challenges. According to the World Tourism Organization in 2006, marketing approach and activities towards tourism development are inadequate, ineffective, and unfunded. And that is true for Nigeria. Some other developing countries and developed countries are trying as much as they can, knowing the importance of tourism. They are working so much to ensure that their tourism development is properly funded and monitored. But for us here, we are still working towards perfection. There's a lot of issues, and maybe if one starts maybe saying it here in Abuja, it might be so dangerous. Tourist attraction sites are not organized and well packaged. Nigerian tourist attractions are unknown to the international travel trade, and the image of Nigeria abroad is very negative and not being addressed. What is the state of tourism in Nigeria now? Nobody knows. If we really want to tell ourselves the truth. Travel and Tourism Development and Tourism Development Index of 2021 by the World Economic Forum indicates that Nigeria ranked 110th out of 111th country surveyed. Besides, out of the 117 countries surveyed all over the world, Nigeria ranked 160th in the countries Brown strategy rating. COVID-19 pandemic of 2019 complicated the issue of low performance of the Nigerian tourism sector, as a restriction to the movement across borders affected inbound tourist arrivals and inbound receipts. Tourism and economic development in Nigeria. Tourism is widely recognized as an effective tool for a socio-economic development due to the possible linkage with other sectors of the economy, which allows it to facilitate employment opportunities, income and economic development, and enhance quality of life. If we look at this data, we can see the GDP contribution of tourism. In 2019, it was 10.3%. You can see it, 10.3% of the whole income generated. Then in 2020, it reduced to 5.3 because of the pandemic. And in 2021, we can see it is gradually coming in again with 6.1%. Then the other one has to do with total travel and tourism jobs, the various, the number of jobs that were created through the tourism sector. The figures are all there. Then coming down, you will see Nigeria key data. In 2019, the total contribution of travel and tourism to GDP was 4.5%. And in 2020, it was 2.8%. And in 2021, 3.6%. It has not really gotten to where it was before the pandemic. Then total contribution of travel and tourism to employment. In 2019, it was 3.36%, Then in 2019, it reduced to 2.19. Then in 2021, it is still very low. It has not even got 2.43. It has not gotten back to where it was. Okay, Nigerian sector characteristics, domestic versus international spending. In 2019, domestic spending was 87%. Then in 2021, it's about 96%. Then in leisure, the leisure versus leisure versus business spending. In 2019, it was 54%. Then when it has to do with leisure spending, then business spending was 46%. Then in 2021, it has increased to 60% when it has to do with leisure spending. Then in business spending is at 40%. But when we talk about the inbound tourism has to do with people coming from the various countries to Nigeria. And we will notice that what we have there is, we have Niger. 60% of the tourists that come into Nigeria are from Niger. 4% from China, India 4%, United States 4%, United Kingdom 4% in 2019. Then in 2021, we have 9% from Niger, 5% from India, then 4% from China, 3% from United States, 3% from the Republic. Then looking at Nigerians going to, as a living Nigeria, to other places. You now notice that 18% of the tourists that go to Ghana are from Nigeria. 18% of tourists that visit Ghana are Nigerians. And you cannot even see, did you see any Ghanaian as in Ghana there, as in coming to Nigeria for tourism? Okay? Then for United Kingdom, in 2019 it was 16%. For United States, people leaving Nigeria to United States for tourism. If we don't check if we check the figures there, we can tell ourselves the truth that Nigerians spend their money outside Nigeria for tourism, while people don't come to Nigeria for what? For tourism, which means we are not doing what? We are not progressing tourism-wise. Nigeria is not progressing tourism-wise. The rebranding, brand image and tourism development. Branding, according to COBA 2006, branding of a product or service is a process of creating slogan that, together with the symbol or logo, communicates to the consumer When one says this brand is good, and you see maybe you see another product that is close to it, you now say, okay, it's like there are two companies, maybe they have rebranded. The one I used, their brand I used previously was good. I think their rebranding will be an upgrade. So Nigeria needs to be branded first branded positively before talking about rebranding. Okay. Rebranding, okay. Brand image. The brand image is the mental perception of the brand in the mind of a consumer, according to Code 2006. First, the brand image is the sum of the benefit about the product or service. If you remember, I said when I was about starting, I said that tourism is a kind of activity or a kind of spending whereby a tourist spends money and the person goes home with an experience or experiences. So the person will be able to tell another person or maybe a friend, are you going on a holiday this year? The person says here, okay, where are you going? Last year I was in Asia. This year, and the person will tell that, maybe will tell a friend, oh, I went to Africa, I went to Nigeria. And maybe the next year, the person will now tell a friend, are you going on a holiday this year? The person says yes, I'm going on a holiday. And the friend now says, okay, last year I was in Asia. And I will tell my friend, last year I was in Nigeria. It is only when I have a good perception, a very memorable perception or experience in Nigeria that I will tell my friend, you don't need to go to Asia. Asia is the country of the colored. Let's go to Nigeria, because if you go to Nigeria, there are a lot of good things that you will enjoy there. It is only when a consumer has a very good mental perception of a product that the person will be able to do what? Talk about the brand image of a particular product. Then the stakeholder theory. Stakeholder theory originated as the theory of organizational management and is based on the premise that organizations have the array of different stakeholder groups. Then Freeman 1984 is widely acknowledged to have established the conceptual and critical foundation of the theory. This theory stress the contribution that other organizations within tourism destinations can make the individual component or components overall success. What this simply means is that tourism as a sector is not, you can't do it alone. There are other stakeholders that need to work as a team for it to survive. And it can only survive when we tell ourselves the truth. I don't want to make money. I want to make Nigeria a preferred destination. That is the only time tourism will work in Nigeria. When we come like this, not with the objective to make money, but the sole objective to ensure that tourism development in Nigeria is done in the right way, using sustainability principles that has to do with environmental compatibility, social acceptability, and economic benefit. That's the only time that tourism will work in Nigeria, and it's only when we tell ourselves the truth that it will come to pass. Creating a positive image of a destination requires a collaboration of the stakeholders in the industry. You cannot say, by the Bible, okay, for those of us that are Christian, the Bible says that two cannot work together except they do what? They agree. So we need to agree. Agreeing here has to do with we that have the destinations, we are not the best, and we are not the organ. The transporters are very important. The intermediaries are very important. As in seeing all the components that work together to produce the various tourism products, seeing them as very important. That's That's the only time that we can come together and work together and we'll be able to achieve a goal. We need collaboration for tourism in Nigeria to succeed. The Nigerian Tourism Development Agency, NCDA, saddled with the responsibility of promoting tourism as a destination, cannot handle it alone. The NCDA cannot handle development and making Nigeria a preferred destination in Africa. They cannot handle it alone. They need stakeholders, but rather require the effort of other stakeholders, such as the tour operators, State Tourism Board, and others to accomplish it. In conclusion, as many destinations all over the world are developing and implementing post-COVID recovery strategy, rebranding plays an important role in destination marketing and attracting inbound tourists. There are many challenges facing tourism industry in Nigeria, such as terrorism, insurgencies, kidnapping, internet fraud. When you talk for a common man, an Asian, the person can try and go to a place where they have issues that has to do with insurgency. But when you talk about the whites, they won't try it. So for this our country to succeed in tourism, terrorism must be well dealt with. Insurgency must be well dealt with. Then kidnapping is also a very bad thing that projects us negatively to the whole world. Then internet fraud. You see people coming to, you see them at the, you go to the net, they'll tell you they have this destination, they will project different tourist packages that they have. The white woman or white man or white family will pay, only for them to notice that they have been what? Killed. These are the things that make tourism development in Nigeria not to succeed. And all these things need to be dealt with. Another thing is corruption. You know that you are corrupt, I know that I am corrupt. So it's only when we tell ourselves the truth and desist from corruption, that's the only time we will be able to achieve this. Then another one, these challenges are affecting the perception of the international tourists about the country. There is therefore an urgent need to tackle the negative image problem facing tourism industry through stakeholders, engagement, and rebranding strategies. This will help in building confidence and attract more tourists to the country, thereby creating more foreign exchange investment, more foreign exchange investment, employment, and make Nigeria competitive in the attractive and beautiful world of tourism. Thank you. Wow.
I'm tempted to say praise the Lord. Again, as I said, when you are a teacher, when you are a trainer, and you see people that know their onions, the thing excites you, right? Once again, a very big round of applause. There will be room for questions. But before we go, we take the time for questions. While she was speaking, I saw my Oga walk into the So I have, people were wondering, but I have plenty of Ogas in this place. We were small people of tourism. It's not long we started tourism. There are those who are ahead of us. So we have plenty of Ogas. It's with great pleasure I want to welcome Chief Abiodun Odisoko, the president, the visionary of the Institute for Tourism Professionals of Nigeria, to give us
He is not just a president.
Yes.
He He is a mentor.
Yes.
He mentored me. What you are seeing today come to effect because of him. Some of you who are in Abuja since Monday know that it's been very powerful. So when he started it, we all started it together, and I once told him that I want to bring it home. He's somebody, if you are working with and you need to be developed, he will tell you, I will see you develop. He is not a boss, he's a mentor. He's a leader. He's somebody who is supposed to see. I belong to professional bodies, but ITPN empowered me. So ITPN has molded and made me what I am right now. He knew how it all become. And today, sir, I want to formally welcome my own boss. And I thought
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to actually see people advancing and developing their own ideas. Tourism is about activities. You all have to continue to do stimulate activities for advancements. I'm here personally. I would have sent people to come and help me. I thought the appropriate myself, that's why I found out other things to engage with me. He supports Dr. Alex, what he's doing. Everything life has got him a beginning. When this summit started many years ago, we started out in way, it's growing. I'm glad to see what he's doing. Others I pray to do same, just want to do same and do more. That's what is concerned. Some of us at industry for many years, we are upwardly going. Other person like him and others are putting over. To give me pleasure and great satisfaction, I really see many people coming up and put up in the industry. It's an engagement. Keep on doing, and I'm sure the best. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much, sir. A round of applause. So we're going to use 5 minutes. 5, or as the spirit leads me. Is there any question, any comment on the lead paper? It's rich. It's full, it's truthful, it's accurate, it's to the point. So is there any question, any comments, please? Yes, sir. Your name, please, and then.
My name is Reginald Chukuma Isurike. Because by my uniform, you know, from the Federal State People. Mine is to appreciate the presenter of the lead paper. She has done honestly well. Even as outsiders, we've learned 1 or 2 things. And I want to appeal that if it's going to be possible, we want to have a soft copy so that we'll go take our time and go through it and take one more. Thank you, and God bless us.
Thank you. Any other question? Any other? Oh, all right.
My name is with DCP Tourism, Pachaka Multinational. My comment here is, first I want to ask, is there any representative of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs here? If yes, why? If no, why? I want to tell this gathering that I have been working as a tourism officer for the past 24 years. and at the destination where we receive tourists. And I have received tourists from almost every part of the world. Almost every part of the world. So, and one question they always ask when we interact with them is, why is it that tourism visa to Nigeria for inbound tourists is always very difficult to access for them, especially those that are coming from Europe? They make a lot of complaints coming to Nigeria. In fact, some of them always they will look for tourism visa to Nigeria 6 months, and some 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 7 months, they can't get it. This has been a problem. In fact, there was a time I told some of them to write this complaint, then I will take the challenge of submitting it to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So I would like to suggest that forums like this, why can't we be having people representing the tourism, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, since we are talking about inbound tourism, which is a very important component of tourism. Thank you very much.
As the spirit leads me, 1, 2, 3, 4. After Mr. Kazim, that is all. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, please, we'll take all the questions at once.
I sincerely appreciate the presenter. He has a very robust paper. But I want to differ a little from the challenges he demised, the insecurity. Yes, other countries are worse than our own, and their tourism still flourish. They have a very bad situation in so many countries. So people still travel to that place. Why are we saying that? Because of insecurity, insurgency, that is maybe segmented or in some regions of Nigeria, that our tourism cannot grow. Right? That's just my question. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I am Dr. Sheon Adiri from National Space Research and Development Agency. I would like to congratulate you for this robust presentation. I just have one question, observation. I saw you had a lot of data about inbound and outbound. Were all these studies conducted by Nigerians, or did we get them from foreign sources? What I'm asking that is that just to know the quality of the data, that's one. And then secondly, I know we get a lot of information from the airport to know the people coming in. So was this information gathered from we in Nigeria, or did we leave it for foreigners to give us this information? So yeah, thank you very much.
Since I'm here, let me do this.
My name is Alex-Onyeocha. I think one of the observations I have for Nigerian tourism is coordination. And at the same time, I want to talk about information. It's not, there's no relationship between state and federal government in tourism. There's no relationship. And that's why the guy is trying to say something about visas. It's very difficult for you to get a visa into Nigeria. That's a very big problem. And we've had several years ago the electronic visa issue. And I think there's a lot of bureaucratic problems we actually have. And on the other part is that Nigeria is not branding itself. Yes, the Ministry of Information needs to do more by trying to create a very good positive image about Nigeria. Yes, there's nothing like US now. US brand, USA is a particular thing they use in talking about every single town in America. And there's a need for us to have that consciousness of, I'm talking from the perspective of a content person. We need to create information We need to create, you cast your mind back to, say, 1980s, when we were growing up, we were young people. Every state you go to, you have a booklet, a guide, the city of Port Harcourt, the city of Ibadan, the city of this, by Federal Ministry of Information. Those information is not there for a lot of while. I want to say one correction about it. There's one particular thing that Ministry of Foreign Affairs, they brought one communique out last year that Nigeria is not safe. I have the information. Yes, I'm angry about that. A reporter, an American reporter, was reporting the thing based on the website of Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs that is no more advice for Nigerians not to go. Me and the guy we started conflicting. I said, America, there's a lot of problem in the US if you are going to do it. Why they need to do more? That's why I say brand Nigeria. Do not just say that it's the heart of Africa. That is not enough. Anything can do it. They need to really, Ministry of Information have to consciously monitor what goes out from all the agencies. Yes, especially Ministry of Foreign Affairs. When you see their fact books, they have not been able to report Nigeria properly. So I'm a bit worried about that. Because I asked him where is the source, and he sent it to me verbally, where he copied the information. And of which they said one of the information that they brought that is very confusing. By saying that it was just FCT that was trying to do retribution of hotels for reason that they want to become terrorists. By the time those people package that information, they package it negatively for Nigeria, and Nigeria is not safe. An online guide that is one of the world wars and Lonely Planet, there's a reason for Nigeria to write against it. They said Nigeria is one of the most dangerous countries to visit. And these are where tourists go and pick information. So there's no constant information about Nigeria as a country. For instance, I find out that Nigeria, when it comes to wildlife, Nigeria is highly endowed. It's when I got closer, I knew when I went to Calabar, and I knew that we have elephants, we have savannah elephants, we have a lot of things. Uganda alone made $500 million from just wildlife. It's not a known fact. For you to just watch a gorilla in Rwanda, when it's a big billion, $700 for you to go with the park rangers. You understand? And they are going to treat you like a king. With the right cars, with the right everything. If you are sleeping, you are even camping, just your tent. Your tent is $100. So we need to help and see what we can do. It's not just talk. It's not a pet talk we need to do. It's a collective effort.
Yes. Your name, please, and if it's a question, please.
No,
it's a comment, summarize. Thank you.
All protocols duly observed. My name is Umebu Peace from Ministry of Tourism, Imo. I so much appreciate the speaker, Dr. Mrs. Ogechi, for this thing. Mine is not really a question, but a comment and as well a contributions. I think it's high time we tell ourselves the truth about this tourism sector. I also commend Mr. Tony for his comments. The truth is not just about the paper and sitting in these seminars. We talk about this rebranding of tourism. We talk about rebranding our leaders, the government itself, because it's high time they get themselves involved in this business. If the private sector could fall in the way they are, how much more when the government gets involved? I was shocked when I got to the National Children's Park Zoo in Abuja here yesterday. Only from when we were asking questions, I discovered that the zoo functions without any fund from the government. And for everything they do in that zoo, they generate the fund there, they feed the animals. And if they could get to that level, sustaining it at that point, how much more when our government keys into what they are doing? So for everything we need to do about tourism, we've talked about it. All we need now is the implementation stage. So I would appreciate it sometimes, if it's possible, some of our ministers the commissioners. Yes, because she talked about branding. The branding starts with them. And for us that are professionals in this field, some of us take the pains of marketing this industry. Sometime last day in Imo State, the news everywhere was Imo is not safe. And I bet you, as at from 23rd of December, the Ministry of Tourism, we had to do a float to tell the states we were on air that Imo is safe. At a point in Imo State, you barely get a hotel. You hardly have 20 guests in a hotel, all because of the news. Me getting down to Abuja, I said, did you fly? I said, no, I went by road. As a tourist, I had to go by road. It's not about flying. What makes me a tourist is going by road. I will be able to view, knowing the routes, seeing things for myself. But for how long would we keep the marketing ourselves? So to an extent, we need to rise. Not just rising on individual basis, but the government has a major role to play. Thank you.
Mr. Kazim, are you still going to say something? Yes. Okay, please be very brief.
I'm Kazim from my question to go to the government. Please, how do we solve the problem of our transportation? Mostly is contributing negatively to ecotourism in Nigeria. How do we solve bad roads? You go from south to west, from west to east, you see bad roads. A journey of 600 kilometers will take you 24 hours, which is abnormal. How do we solve this problem? That's my question. Thank you.
I don't know that particular question. Are you not asking the wrong person to answer this question? Okay, please.
He said he's asking the government. He said he's asking the government. Like what the first speaker said, a little contribution to it. You know, if you want to get tourist visa to Nigeria, you notice that it's very, very difficult. Like if you want to get 2 years, like now it's 5 years. 5 years visa for the US, you are paying like 84,000. 5 years. If you want to get Nigerian visa from the UK, you are paying close to 400 or 500,000. And the worst part of it is that you will apply for that visa, it will stay for a very long time. Because of what? Corruption. It is everywhere. What is eating up the whole system is corruption. So that is the problem. Then for the insecurity, we all know that there is always shooting in Florida, isn't it? And you see people going to America. Do you know why? The reason is it borders around our government. Do you know that once there is a shooting, you will notice a prompt intervention of the government, and they will try as much as they can to trash it down. But here it happens, and they wave it off. And somebody outside will say, if this thing should happen to me, so nobody will, it will just be like that. And it scares people away from visiting our country. So it revolves around our government as well. Then for the data that we use, some of the data, we got it from the World Tourism and Travel Council. Then the other one from the World Economic Forum. Then the last one was from the World Bank. So that's where we got it from. Nigeria here, we don't have database. There's no database for tourism. There's no database.
So what we are coming up.
So that's what we need. Don't worry, we believe that when we are coming up gradually, when we work at it, let me tell us, wait now, let me tell us the truth. If we do the right thing, what is the right thing? We have people who are professionals in tourism, who know it. Let us not put sentiment. We just put those people, stay here. These other people who are not all that, they are not professionals, but they are knowledgeable. They will also join. And you will now see that they will come up with beautiful ideas on how we are going to do this. But the problem is that you see a post or we have somebody who is as post, the person that is supposed to fill it is a person that knows what tourism and what it takes should be. You will see as in the post being as in occupied with by somebody who doesn't know anything about tourism. It's one of the are you understanding? It's one of the things that is killing the system. So if there are people that they don't have mothers, they are orphans, but they come together and you see them, they become very rich in life. The only thing is that if our governments, they are not helping us, can we help ourselves? Can we begin in ego now? Money will come later. This sector, money will come later. But let us remove, making it now from it. Let us work together, work so hard to bring it up. And when the money starts yielding, you will get more and get more. That's the only problem we have.
Politicians will remove you from that money.
All right, thank you very much. From all what we have said, the problem of Nigeria is Nigeria. The problem of Nigeria is not the white man. The problem of Nigeria is not the Chinese man. The problem of Nigeria is Nigeria. So God will help us and we will help ourselves because we know the right thing to do. We have refused to do it. From all cadres, from government down to the last person, we are all culpable, right? Of course, government gets the highest share. Yes, I make bold to say it. They get the highest share of the blame. Yes, I agree. We get the highest share of the blame because the private sector cannot do infrastructure. It's not the private sector that is in charge of building roads. It's not the private sector. It's not the private sector that is in charge of it's not the private sector that is in charge of visa. All right, and these are the major difficulties. All right, road safety. Their own is to make sure you are safe on the road. Their own is not to use the good roads. Right, so they are limited in their work that they do. Right, so the government, whether we like it or not, takes the lion's share of the blame. He just gave an example. This is a government organ saying to the world that Nigeria is not safe. Why? Why would you do that? And me and you know that Nigeria is safe. We know. During the height of the banditry on Kaduna Abuja Road, I travel by road almost every month. Because I have family in Kaduna, am I going to say? I travel by road almost every month. Nobody kidnapped me. Right? So there are things. We don't have kidnapping. Let me tell you the truth. We don't have kidnapping in Nigeria. In Mexico, every second somebody is being kidnapped. And they kill them. They will pay ransom and they will kill the person.
In Mexico.
We don't have kidnapping in Nigeria. But we have decided that we want to kill ourselves. But by God's grace, we will not kill ourselves. We will do the right thing, all of us. And we will remember this day as a starting point. Thank you very much. Without
I just hope you are not escalating, by your talk, you don't want the kidnapping to escalate.
No, if it escalates, I will hold you responsible. It means you went out and told them something. All right. I want to call on our second speaker, right? Mrs. Akinola Olajumoke from the National Space Research and Development Agency. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. On the already established. I am Alex-Onyeocha from the National Space Research and Development Agency. In the first edition for the National Conference for Domestic and Tourism in Nigeria, I spoke about some of the space applications research projects that was carried out by the agency, which spread across various sectors of the economy. This particular project did a special assessment of the tourism resources in Nigeria for economic project was ongoing, but I'm glad to let us know today that the first phase of this project has been completed, and that is why I'm presenting it to us. The importance of ecotourism to a nation cannot be overemphasized, as it provides employment, generates income, conserve the environment, and as well improve the livelihood of local communities. Assessing ecotourism resources is therefore crucial in identifying areas with potential for sustainable tourism development. This is slide. Aims and objectives. The project was aimed at assessing the current and potential ecotourism sites in 13 states across the geopolitical zones of Nigeria for economic representation using the special techniques. The objectives are to one, identify the existing ecotourism sites in the selected states. Secondly, is to examine the factors affecting ecotourism activities and the current state of each ecotourism site. Thirdly, is to generate an interactive dashboard of the current state and the potential of ecotourism in Nigeria. And lastly, is to identify the potential ecotourism sites in Nigeria. The study covered 13 states, like I said, spread across the geopolitical zones in Nigeria. As we all know, Nigeria is a country rich in natural landscape and biodiversity, which makes it an ideal destination for tourism development. Both primary and secondary data were collected for this project to achieve the stated objective by obtaining information from the tourism board about the list of all the existing tourism sites in Nigeria, then by reviewing literatures and acquisition of satellite imageries, administration of personnel. The method employed in this study was designed into 3 components, such as identification and recruiting of the ecotourism sites. Secondly, is data visualization, and lastly, is site analysis.
So, sorry, just wait. Please, can you change the slides? She's not on the slide.
Method.
Please go forward.
Yes. Sorry, the next slide is after that. Before the commencement of the field work for this project, like I said, list of all the ecotourism sites in Nigeria was obtained from the tourism board, which served as a guideline or a guide for people that went for the field work to take the coordinates of each ecotourism site. After that, the field work exercise commenced, and it involved the use of a handheld global positioning system to capture the coordinate data of each ecotourism site. Afterwards, some strategic respondents were interviewed during the course of the fieldwork exercise, which includes the host, member of the host community and the officials working on the ecotourism site.